Alright, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Every Day is Ukeday. I didn't say that for a long time. I don't know. I told myself, I'm going to say it every episode because that's the name of the channel. But I forgot. Alright, brought it back. So, today I want to spend more time on strumming. I did get a few comments about I guess some of you guys are having a difficult time with the strum patterns. But I didn't get anything specific, so I'm assuming it's either trying to place accents or maybe it's just a timing thing. But it's probably either a timing thing or both. Okay, so basically what happens, right, is you want to place the accents down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, okay? But if you have a hard time with the accents, all that really means is you're losing, your timing is kind of going off, right? So you might go down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, okay? So it's true, you're having a hard time with the accents and that's causing your timing to be way off, okay? So I want to focus more on that today, but I also want to point out one more thing. I want to point out how these episodes, like the videos that I'm uploading on YouTube, is different from when I'm teaching a student. Like I think I mentioned before, I teach on the weekends now. I used to teach a lot more, but I just cut it down to the weekends. And I have the same students coming every week. Okay, so I kind of want to explain the difference. There is very similar, okay, but actually in the YouTube videos, what I do is I do step 1 and step 2. So let's say we're going to learn a new technique, maybe something like the bend. So maybe I'm going to introduce the bend technique. Okay, so the first 2 steps. Number 1, whether I have a student sitting right here or whether you're watching a video, I'm going to introduce the technique and say, okay, today we're going to learn the bending technique. And then I'm going to explain it and introduce it to you guys in as much detail as possible. Put 3 fingers here, push with all 3 fingers. Make sure your fingertips are not on the string, but a little below. Put your thumb. Okay, so I did an episode on bending, so I'm not going to go into detail, but that's how I introduce the technique. Number 2 is I'll give exercises, okay? And I might tell my student who's actually sitting here, all week, just practice this. But maybe I would say practice going up and down. So go up, go down, like that. Maybe that's a good exercise. So I'm not giving them anything that I think will sound good. I'm just giving them an exercise to practice the bend. Bend up, bend down. Anywhere. Bend up, bend down. Bend up, bend down. Oh. Okay, so it doesn't sound good at all, but it's a great exercise, okay? And I might tell them, okay, all week practice the exercise. Okay, so step 1 and step 2, that's pretty much the same. But the difference is with my students sitting here, when they come back next week, we're going to stick with it. We're going to stick with this technique. And now that they know how to bend, I'm going to say, okay, well, let's practice a few lines. And the line might sound like this. One more time. So what I'm trying to do is, now that they went through the exercises and they know how to do the technique, now in step 3, I'm trying to show them how to apply it to a line, to an actual. Okay, so this is important too, because once you learn the technique, you still have to learn how to apply it to an actual song or to a line. Okay, so I'll teach them a few lines. Okay, try this. Maybe something like that, or maybe something like. Okay, so I'll teach them a few lines. I'll say practice that all week, and then after that they come back And then finally, to me, the song is the reward, so it's kind of like, all right, we learn all of this, okay, let's try this song. This song has a lot of bends in it, okay, and then we'll complete the song. So one technique could actually be anywhere from 4 to 8 lessons. But in YouTube, in this channel, I'm just throwing out step 1 and step 2. That's it, okay? So the reason for that is, in these episodes, I want to try to throw out as many different things as I can. I'm just kind of introducing different techniques. I'm trying to share different information with you guys, right? And when you're watching an episode and you really like a certain technique or something, and something really grabs your attention and gets you interested, that's when, that's when you should comment to me and let me know, okay, I really like this technique, but I'm not sure how to use it, or can you elaborate more on this technique? And then I might throw in a few lines, or maybe even do a song. So I have no problem doing that. The only thing is, I don't want to spend so much time on something that, doesn't really interest you, So please keep that in mind. Like, I'm really happy I did my episode about strum patterns and strumming. And I'm really happy to get these comments saying, oh, I'm having a hard time with it, or something like that. Because now I can elaborate on it. So for me, the most important thing is I want to keep my videos entertaining for you guys. Meaning that if you tell me this is what I want to learn, then that's the video I want to create. Okay? So without these comments, I'm pretty much just throwing things out there. And you guys just try it, take what you like and ignore what you don't like. Okay, so with that in mind, please, if you're watching an episode, you like something, but you want me to elaborate on it, or you want me to give you guys a few lines or show you how we would use this technique in different situations, just let me know. I have no problem doing it. So today, let's get back to strumming with your right hand strum patterns, and let's do it. Okay, so strumming. So we'll go back, with the basics, right? And so what I'm gonna elaborate on is I'm gonna use the technique we used in Cognito Town. And that was basically the down, down, up, down. Okay, so it was down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, and down. Okay? Now, with the timing thing, okay, so this is something that I didn't kind of explain before. But let's say you're trying to play this to a metronome. Okay, so the thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, and you have to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so the metronome is playing 1, 2, and I'm strumming along. Okay, now let's say in most cases, if you're just starting off, you're going to try to strum with the metronome, and you're just going to notice it's off. And then you're going to say, oh, it's so hard to strum to a metronome. And believe me, I've been there, I know the feeling. It's very, very frustrating. Okay, but to fix that, this is the first step. Let me try to use an analogy. Let's say you and I, we're going to go meet for coffee. We're going to go to the coffee shop, and our goal is to meet at the same time. Okay, so we're going to actually get to the coffee shop at the same time. Okay, so we tell each other 2:30. Let's meet there at 2:30. Okay, our goal is to get there at the same time. Just like with the metronome, you're trying to strum, your goal is to play together, play to the same time, right? Now, let's say you get there and I'm there 10 minutes later. Okay, so basically we failed. It's like, we didn't meet at the same time. You're playing to the metronome, you're not playing together, all right, fail. Okay, so it's the same thing. But this is the thing, why didn't we meet at the same time? Now here's the thing, you might think I was 10 minutes late, but it's very possible you were 10 minutes early. Or maybe you were 2 minutes late and I was 12 minutes late, right? Or you were 20 minutes early and I was 10 minutes early. So my point is that you can't just look at it as, we didn't meet at the same time, so we failed. And when you're playing with the metronome and you lose the beat, you can't just say, I lost the beat and I failed. Okay, you have to be able to try to understand where you lost it. So for example, back to our meeting thing. Okay, how come we couldn't meet on time? You're like, well, you were 5 minutes early, I was 5 minutes late. Okay, so we have to make the adjustment. We have to make the proper adjustments and we have to understand how we can meet. It's not just us trying to meet at the same time, we're trying to meet at 2:30. Okay, and the same thing with the metronome. You're playing with the metronome and then you lose the beat and you go, let me try again. Okay, and you cannot just tell yourself, I sped up or I slowed down. You have to know where did you speed up? Is there a certain beat or a certain accent that you're late or you're early? Okay, so you gotta kind of study that. So to do that, let's see. So when we do this drum pattern, down, down, up, down, we're actually playing. Let me erase this. We don't need this. Okay, so this is slightly different here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is your 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And the accents are down, down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, wait, down, down, up, down. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, I believe in the previous video where I taught this drum pattern, I think I just said your fingers move down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and your accents are down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Okay, so it's the same thing. Maybe if I'm strumming this song, down, down, up, down. Okay, I focused on the accents. I told you to just focus on that. Down, down, up, down. Okay, but if you're losing the beat, it's very possible that you could be losing the beat on the non-accents. Okay, because what if you go down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, you're actually losing the beat around here. Okay, so when you play with the metronome, and the metronome is going 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just practice maybe the first 2 beats. So the metronome goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Make sure you got it. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, make sure you can do that. Then you know, okay, there's only 4 beats in this drum pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you know you're good from 1 and 2. Okay, but for some reason you're losing the beat when you play to the metronome. So you gotta know it must be from here to here, and most likely it's probably on the upbeat, but I don't know for sure. So you try it. So the metronome goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And make sure you end on this 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just stop right there. Don't try to do the whole thing over and over and over. Be really solid. Where is my metronome? Right here. So
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3
yeah, really lock into the beat. 1
and
2
and 3
a
and
little
4
slower.
and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3
Okay.
and 4
Now I'm
and
just trying to go up to the
1
4.
and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1
Okay,
and
so you're
2
listening
and
to the
3
metronome.
and 4
Try to knock
and
it
1
1,
and
2,
and 3
3,
and
4.
4 and
Okay.
1 and
Now
and
maybe
3,
it might sound something like this.
1 and 2 and 3
3,
and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4
4.
and 1
There
and
you
2
go.
and
Something went wrong there.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and
1,
1 and
2,
2 and 3 and 4 and
4.
1 and
Something like that, right? Okay, so something's wrong. Okay, so the biggest difference is you're actually trying to solve a problem. The problem is you cannot play this in time. Okay, and it's common, right? You want to say, oh, let me just try it again. And then you realize, oh, I'm going too fast. So what are you going to do? You're going to try to slow everything down, but that won't work. You need to know where you're speeding up, which down or up. All it takes is for you to strum one down or one up a little too fast or a little too slow, and the whole timing will be thrown off. Okay, so you have to figure out where it is. Okay, so here's another way I want you to practice if you're having a hard time with the strumming. Okay, what I want you to do is, instead of focusing on the downs, the accents, the down, down, up, down, focus on everything like this. Like just say this.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4
Okay.
and
Down, up, 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 down. A little slower.
2 and 3 and 4
Okay.
and
Down, up, 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 down. Okay? So just try this. Say the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up with the metronome. Okay? Here we go. We'll come in on the next one. Here we go. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Again. Down, up, 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 down, up. Okay? So we should be able to do that. Now I want you to just say the accents a little louder. Or you can say the non-accents a little softer. So like this. Down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the up. One more time. Down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay? So what I'm doing is kind of similar to what I told you before, just accenting on the downs and the ups and focusing on that. But if you're having a hard time, I want to take that back and I want to say, don't just focus on the accents, focus on every stroke. So now we're actually saying every stroke. Down, up, 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 down, up. Okay? And that should work. Down, up, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. Okay? So let's try this together. It's really slow. Okay? Get your ukuleles out and let's just do it together. I'm just muting the strings here, so just touch the strings softly. Okay, and listen to the beat. Here we go.
1 and up, 2 and up,
1,
3
2,
and up, 4
ready, go.
and
Oh wait,
up,
I'm sorry. Let's do it without the accents first. Okay, and if you have a really hard time with this, just see if you can say it. Okay, you don't even have to strum. Just say what I was saying. Down, up, 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 down, up. Okay, so it's up to you. Either do it with your ukulele or if that's difficult, just say it. Okay, here we go. No accents yet. Ready, go. Down, up, down, up, down,
two,
up,
and
down,
up,
down,
three,
up,
and
down,
up,
down,
four, and up, one, and up, two, and up, three, and up, four, and up.
We'll just do this for a little while.
And up,
Down, up, down, up, down, up, down,
and
up,
up, one,
down,
and up,
down,
two,
up,
and up, three, and up, four, and up, one, and up, two, and up, three, and up, four, and up, one, and up, two, and up, three, and up.
Okay, lock into the beat. Down,
One,
up,
and up,
down,
two,
up.
and up, three, and up, four, and up, one,
Okay.
and up.
Now I want to add to that. I want you to say one every time she says one. Okay, and the reason is I want you to know when the round ends and the repeat starts. Okay, so sometimes you're doing this too long, down, up, down, and you don't know if you're going 1, 2, 3, or you could be on 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so you want to always know where the one is. Okay, so let's try it again. Okay, ready, go. 1,
And up,
2,
and up,
3. Okay, just say the ones.
and up,
1,
and up, two, and up, three, and up, four, and up,
1,
and up, two, and up, three, and up, four, and up, one, and up, two, and up, three, and up, four, and up,
1,
and up, two, and up, three, and up, four, and up,
1,
and up, two, and up, three, and up, four, and up,
1,
and up, two, and up, three, and up, four, and up, one, and up, two, and up, three, and up, four, and up, one,
Okay,
and
so now let's do the accents, and we're gonna stop on 1 and 2. So we're just gonna go 1, 2, and stop. Okay, so let's do that a few times.
one, and up, two, and up,
1,
three,
2,
and up, four,
ready, go.
and up,
1,
one, and
down,
up,
2.
and up, three, and
Again.
up, four, and up, one, and up, two, and up, three, and up, four,
Again.
and up, one, and up, two, and up, three, and up, four, and up, one, and up, two, and up, three, and up, four, and up, one, and up, two, and up,
This should be pretty
and
simple,
up,
right?
four, and up,
1,
one, and up,
2.
two, and up,
Okay.
three, and up, four, and
Now let's try. Let's stop on this accent. Down, 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 up. Okay? So same thing now. Don't forget to kind of remember the saying down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So here we go. Sorry, go. Down, 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 up.
and up, three,
Two,
and up, four,
ready, go.
and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
two,
up.
and up, three, and up,
I'm sorry, I was
four,
wrong.
and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
two, and
up.
up, three,
There you
and
go.
up, four, and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
two,
up, 3.
and up,
Okay?
three,
So,
and up, four,
wait,
and
that's right.
up, one,
Down,
and up,
down,
two, and
up.
up, three,
Okay,
and
sorry.
up.
So now watch this. Down, down, up, 3. Down, down, up, 3. Okay, so listen to that. So let me demonstrate real quick.
One, and up, two, and up,
One.
three,
Okay,
and
so
up,
listen to
four,
this.
and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
two, and
up, 3.
and up, four,
Okay, one more time.
and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
and up, three, and
Okay,
up,
do you hear it
four,
say 3?
and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
two,
up.
and up, three, and
Oh,
up,
I
four,
keep saying down, up, sorry.
one, and up, two, and up,
One more
three,
time.
and up, four, and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
two, and
up,
up,
3.
three, and
Okay,
up, four,
again.
and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
two, and up, three, and
Okay,
up, four,
so see if you
and
can do
up,
that.
one, and up, two, and up, three, and
Okay,
up, four.
so down, down, up, 3. Down, down, up, 3. One more time. Down, down, up, 3. Okay, so let's try it.
One, and
Yo,
up,
come here,
two,
next one.
and up, three, and up, four,
Ready, go.
and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
two, and
up, 3.
and up, four, and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
and
up, 3. Okay,
and up,
and let's
four,
hit the 3.
and up.
Let's hit the 3 now. So down, down, up, 3. Down, down, up, 3. One more time. Down, down, up, 3. Okay, here we go.
One, and up, two, and up, three,
1,
and
2,
up, four,
ready, go.
and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
and
up, 3. 2,
and up, four,
ready,
and
go.
up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
and
up, 3. 2,
and up, four,
ready, go.
and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
and
up, 3.
three,
2,
and up, four,
ready, go.
and up,
Down,
one, and up,
down,
and
up, 3.
three,
Okay,
and up.
now this is the part where whenever I write out this down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, okay, I'm trying to explain to you, so in case you really don't understand what we're doing, this should help. But what this does is, if you rely on this, you're forcing yourself to play music with your eyes, right? And I think I talked about this a few times. You don't want to learn with your eyes. So this is showing you what I'm doing, which is basically down, down, up. Okay? But you want to feel that. So even without looking
One,
back,
and up, 2, and up, 3, and up,
you just
4,
want to feel
and
that.
up,
Down,
1, and up,
down,
and
up,
3,
3.
and up, 4,
Feel
and
that.
up,
Down,
1, and up,
down,
and
up, 3.
and up, 4, and up,
Down,
1, and up,
down,
and
up, 3.
and
So just say it with me.
and up,
Down,
and up,
down,
and
up, 3.
and up, 4,
With your ukulele,
and up,
down,
and up,
down,
and
up, 3, 2, ready, go. Down,
and up,
down,
and
up, 3, 2, ready, go.
up,
Down,
and up,
down,
and
up, 3, 2, ready, go.
up,
Down,
and up,
down,
and
up, 3, 2,
and
okay?
up, 4.
So sorry, I forgot earlier, but 3 is not an accent. Okay, so I was kind of playing down, down, up, 3. But actually 3 is not an accent, so it actually goes down, down, up. It's a really weak 3, right? Down, down, up, 3. Okay, now, so we're still playing the 3, but we're not accenting the 3, right? So down, down, up, 3, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, 3, 2, ready, go. Down, down, up, 3, 2, ready, go. Down, down, up, 3. Okay, so now hopefully we can get past 3. Okay, or we can get up to 3. If you cannot get up to 3, don't continue, because now you know you're losing it somewhere here. Okay, and the more you use your eyes, the harder it's going to be to figure out how to get up to the 3. Okay, you got to feel it. Down, down, up, 3, 2, ready, go. Down, down, up, 3, 2, ready. Okay, so down, down, up, 3, 2, ready, go. 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 Down, down, up, 3. Okay? Now, if you can do that, then let's go up to the 4. Down, down, up. I'm sorry, down, down, up, 3, up, down, 4. So 1, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, 4. Down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, 4. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 4. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 4. With the metronome, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 4. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 4. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 4. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 4. Okay? So you can see how we're slowly getting there, okay? So basically in the end, I mean not in the end, before when you try to play with a metronome or something and your timing is off, and you go, oh, I can't do it, okay? That's the thing. If you can't do it, you'll never be able to do it until you figure out where it is. Like what part of this drum pattern are you not feeling? Okay, what part of the drum pattern, maybe it's the up. Are you rushing the up or are you too slow on the up? You have to understand that. And once you get that, then you just listen to the metronome. Up, down, 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 up, down. Okay, then you listen. Down, up, 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 down, So try to play along. Up, down, up, down, up, down. And 1, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, So try to master doing this one round at a time. So down, up, 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 down, up. And stop on that down. Stop on the one. So listen to this. One, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, you ready? 2, ready, go. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so you're stopping on the 1, 2, ready, go. Down, up, 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 down, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so if you run through this over and over and over, I believe this is a really good exercise. And once you get the feeling for down, down, up, 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 down. Okay. Once you get a good feel for that, it doesn't matter, you can make it faster. Okay, so even if I go faster, okay, so now it's faster, but I can still feel the beat. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. Okay, we go faster. As long as I can play that. Let me turn this down, we're getting a little faster. Okay, so as long as I can play the down, 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 so as long as I can play the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, the feeling of the accents will always be there. Okay, so that's kind of what you want to do. So you start off with down, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Okay, so you want to develop that feeling first. Okay, so the difference between today's episode and the other episode, the biggest difference is before I told you to just let your hands go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, okay? And I don't know if you guys remember, but before that, we did another episode where I told you to just practice down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, okay? And try to get it really, really consistent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, okay? And once you get this consistent, then that's when I was telling you, okay, do the same thing, but put the accents on down, down, up, down. Okay, so I believe if you're having a hard time with the accents, that means you're not really consistent with the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Or maybe you are consistent, but when you throw in certain accents, it throws off that down, up, down, up, down, okay? Which is very common, right? You can go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, okay? So that up might actually throw you off, okay? But what we're doing this time, what we're doing differently, is we're focusing on each stroke, not just the accents. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. Okay? So make sure you can do that first. Just say it. And I will...
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and...
Okay, so I'm gonna run this for a couple of minutes just so you can kind of practice. And if you want to practice saying it or playing it or doing all it's up to you. But I know not everybody has a metronome, And not everybody has a metronome that would do the 16th note strum. So let me bring this, I'll hold it for you so it's a little louder. And just take a couple minutes, play with it.
1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and
Last round.
up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up, 1 E and
All right.
up, 2 E.
So, it's kind of dusty, but for anyone interested in playing with the metronome, this is the one I use. It's a Boss, the DB90. This one's kind of old, but the reason why I like this one is because it's very loud. And if you want, right, you can plug in your speakers or headphones, but it does have different voices. So,
1 E and up, 2 E and E, 3 E and up, 4
for
E
example,
and
okay, so this is kind of different. You go a little faster. Two, three, four. Okay, so this is closer to the typical sound. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, but I often use the voice when I teach. Oh, that's not the voice. This is another setting.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2,
Okay.
3.
So this helps me a lot because can you imagine in a 45-minute class, the whole class I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. You know, I'd probably want to shoot myself. Okay, so I hope this helps. Okay, so just remember the point of today is trying to figure out if you're having a hard time with your timing and your rhythm, it's about understanding where you're losing the beat. And then you fix it, okay? If you're losing the beat and you say, oh, let me try again, you lose the beat, oh, let me try again, you lose the beat, try again, it's not gonna work. And even if it does work one time, it's just luck. Okay, so you wanna develop a good feel for it. And going back to that analogy about us trying to meet together at 2:30, if I'm always 10 minutes after you get there, that doesn't necessarily mean you're on time and I'm late. Okay, could be, we got to figure out what's going on here, and then eventually we'll be able to do it. Okay, so I hope this helps. And once again, if you have more questions or more comments, let me know. I can do 10 of these videos and I'll just figure out different ways to explain it. And I like to come up with different analogies for everything. That's one of my favorite things to do, compare ukulele to golf or tennis or work or going to the doctor's office, or compare it to Power Rangers or whatever I need to do to get through to you to help you understand. That's what I love doing. So please don't be shy, don't hold back. If you are one of the students that said, hey, I'm having a hard time with strumming, and let's say I did this video for you and you still don't get it, yeah, let me know. But try to be a little bit more specific. So that way I can try to make sure I answer whatever questions or issues you have. Okay? And same thing for the other episodes. If you run into anything that you liked and you wish I, explained a little bit more about it, let me know. One last thing, keep in mind, we actually have almost 20 hours of video. Okay, so there's almost 20 hours of content in this whole channel. So that's a lot of content, but I'm not even explaining it well. Well, I'm doing remember step 1 and step 2. I'm introducing it and then I'm giving you exercises, but I'm not even doing step 3 and 4, which was, I'll teach you guys a little line, apply the technique or whatever to a line, and then number 4, doing a song. So you guys actually have almost 20 hours of just content explaining just topics, okay, without the full explanation. So there's a lot of room for further explanation. But you just gotta let me know. I won't do it unless somebody is interested, okay? Because if you're not, I don't want it to be boring. If not, I'll just try to find new things to teach. But I am running out of topics. We covered so many different topics. I think we're at 50, this is the 55th episode. So that's gotta be about 45 different topics. And basic picking is 1. Basic strumming is 2. Strumming with your skin is 3. I don't know, the slide technique, 4. Bend technique, 5. Tuning, chromatic scale, finding chords. I mean, these are huge subjects, but that's only 9. We got almost 50 covered, so it's good. I think there's a lot you guys can take out of these videos, but the more feedback you give me, the more I can give back to you guys. All right? So I hope you guys have a great day and be safe, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, you guys take care. Cheers.